What do you see as the difference between the two? I've heard Ben Darwin say that league players have sort of a more limited skill set, but they're very, very technically proficient, whereas in rugby union, you've got a broader skill base, but the sort of specifics aren't as fine. Is that one of the differences?
No, I wouldn't say so. No. Having now coached, been involved in coaching and at the top level there, very skillful players, you know. Their forwards many of their forwards can play just like backs with their ball skills and their ability to transfer, and they work ability to transfer when there's an impending collision coming and a big one, right? So obviously they have bigger collisions because they're coming from a bigger distance, whereas our collisions are different. They're more wrestle style, pull down. Even though they talk about wrestling more, they do wrestling after an impact, whereas our whole thing's a bit of a wrestle because there's mauls and rucks and get out of the way, and you can still make impact and, you know, hit hard and hurt, but it's different distances, you know. So I think that league is obviously strategically different because you're often finding the same people in the same places. So you can really go for people, you can really target individuals in the game. In union, yes, you're going to find the back three, you'll know where you'll find them all the time, but it's not guaranteed then up in the defensive line who you'll see where. It's a relatively moving feast, so it's very hard to, it's very difficult to count numbers even from as you divide the field longitudinally, I think it should be, like it's an interesting tactical game and very different to what I imagined it would be until I had the opportunity to spend time at the elite level. So I see both games as parallel. I think league is seen as a tougher game because the impacts are inevitably bigger because of the distance they have to travel. And I believe that most players can make the cross between either or. They just need the right type of coaching to give them the skills and help them understand the shortcuts and the rules. Not as much the rules, the shortcuts, like how to do this, how to be. If I look at a guy like Sam Burgess, you know, he was taken from the league where if I was coaching Sam Burgess, I would have said, you just play on the blindside flank. I'll give him a few defensive cues and then say, you just run as hard as you can and you just tackle as hard as you can. I don't care where you are on the field. And then he's doing his job like he would be in rugby league. He would have killed him. Yeah. You know, so the simplicity of making that, whereas they sort of got him so confused with playing one position then another position, and then, you know, they had a nice excuse to blame, you know, it's his fault, he can't do it. So I think that the players are so well prepared nowadays in both codes that they can cross over, I think, quite easily. I would have loved to see Perinara make the crossover, you know, with that opportunity, because I would have loved to see him play in league and see how he would have gone.
How do you reckon he would have gone?
Oh, I think he would have killed it, yeah. He's very competitive. He's got a great running game, great kicking game, great passing game. There's not much, you know, he loves the game. He's played league as a young fella. And what you know about the game from before, yes, that won't keep you in good stead for trying to compete now, but what it'll do, it gives you a base to adjust from quickly. So that's what I was thinking would work. Now I've just all of a sudden been hammered. A good football mind that he's got, he's going to adjust pretty quickly to what's necessary. And I think he probably could have bounced around like both the play the ball and the halves and been a really valuable asset. But obviously New Zealand saw how valuable he was by putting it out there to keep him.
Did you ever, when you were at the Waratahs, did you ever put the feelers out for a league player to come over? Was there ever those discussions?
Yeah, we would have had a few chats with different players. We had a great day. I can't remember if it was with the Tars or with Australia. Obviously I'm mates with Trent Robbo, and we lined up a full opposed session with the suits on down. We played it at one of the school grounds down in Rushcutters Bay. We played, I suppose, a version of league. But we played against it was so different to see how the players matched up against each other, like the different body shapes, and it was great. It's super interesting, you know, and I've had a history of doing that, in fact, because remember when I was coaching in France, I took the team, and we had a fair few Aussies in that team at Stade Francais. We took the team down for a pre-season camp to the French Foreign Legion, which was an experience in itself. That's probably another episode somewhere down the road. But on the way back, we were training as well at the time, and I wanted to get a warm-up game. So we spoke to Lesignan, which is the best of the rugby league in that region at the lower, not at Super League or, you know, but in that next level, they're one of the top teams. And they were out of season, so they didn't have all their best players, but they got a team together, and we said, we'll bring our team, rugby team, we'll play in a game of rugby league. Now, we just thought it'd be a training game, get a bit of contact, whatever. So I'm thinking we're going to play in our training suits, you know, with the protection and everything like that. We turn up at the ground, there's 7,000 people there. They've sold tickets, the whole thing's humming. And the boys are going, what are we going to do here? So I don't know, we're going to play, I suppose. At half time, the French Rugby Federation's calling, saying, what are you doing playing a game of rugby league? We won too, which was good, because we had enough Aussies in there to have a bit of fun. But it was great fun, great to see. And I hope that one day they can get themselves sorted out to play the hybrid game, because it'd be awesome.
How do you see a hybrid game going?
Oh no, there's a version there now that's really clear. You know, you play league in your half and you play union in the other team's half. So, and as soon as you cross the halfway line, the game changes. So, think about it. Where does union do all its kicking?
Within its own.
Yeah, and where the league do all its kicking? In the other half. So there's no kicking.
Yeah.
If you kick, you're going to score. So I've seen schoolboys play it, two of the schoolboys teams, and it was electric, you know, the way the game. And I know it's not just to see it happen one day at the elite level would be awesome to see that. It would be very interesting.
There's often talks every couple of years of like a All Blacks versus Kangaroos or something. Could it work?
Definitely. They just need to they need to see that, you know, these are all businesses as well, so they need to see the return on investment. So they go, okay, we're going to risk playing this game, but we've got to see that the return's good enough, you know, because, you know, their thing would be, oh, well, you know, a player gets injured or, you know, but I think players would love to play it, and I think it would be great to see. So I think it'll happen eventually. It's just a matter of, you know, getting around. So you need to have like most things, you need to have 2 or 3 goes at it before it actually happens. And I'm sure that the administrators will get it together and work it out one day. It'd be great.